Well, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. We made it to Thursday. That is a good thing. I'm still on my creative kick, recording everything just because I can. And of course, I've noticed, the more you do something, the better you get at it, which is always cool. So I'm on my morning drive to work. It is another gorgeous day in Oklahoma City. It was cool this morning. It's only 82 out right now. I woke up. I did not exercise. That I'm not crazy about, but I'm pretty sore. My whole body is pretty sore, and I don't think it's from working out or anything. I don't know what's going on. Maybe a vitamin deficiency. I'm not sure, but pretty sore. Look out, squirrel. Squirrels run around, stop in the middle of the road. They always want to stop right in the middle of the road and turn around and go back. And you're like, dude, if you would have just kept going, you'd be okay. Squirrels. Don't be a squirrel, folks. Keep going. Get to the other side, okay? It's a good reminder. Life's little reminders, right? But yeah, I didn't exercise, but that's all right. I decided to get creative instead. I finished up the last finishing touches of the music video that I recorded yesterday. At lunchtime, I've been taking a camera and going out and seeing what I can do at lunch just for fun. No big deal. The first couple of days I took my mirrorless camera and I went out and took some photos, and I got some great shots. I'm really happy with what I got. Not sure what I feel like doing with those just yet, but I got some good shots. Yesterday I took my DJI Action 5 camera and I just walked around, took a walk, and it was a walk and talk. I talked and recorded the scenery, etc., etc. And then I decided, you know what? I want to do something creative with this. And I turned it into a little music video. I've made 4 albums that are on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. I mean, they're everywhere on all the streaming services. And I've just released another album by a band that I created called Fire and Sky, and they have 3 albums now. I have 3 albums because it's just me. And anyway, the music video that I created yesterday, I used one of the songs from the last album that came out pretty recently, Overcome, and the song is titled The Best Version of You. And I liked how it turned out. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't spend a ton of time on it, but I did enjoy doing it. And today I'll probably go out and create something new. Don't know what exactly yet. But, I think it's important to keep that fire going. And sometimes, like I've mentioned before, the best way to get out of a funk or revive yourself is just by doing, No, don't overthink it. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares anyways. You're the one who cares. So just go do something and have fun. That's the key, man. Do something that you enjoy and have fun with it. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. And I'll try to continue to do that. And I was thinking this morning, it would be cool if I got back on a fitness kick. I'm not going to lie, it's been a super struggle the last few months, dealing with health issues, my mother-in-law, and the dynamic there has taken a toll on the family. A lot of drama in the family, relatives on my wife's side having some issues, and a lot of drama, a lot of things going on, and it's been stressful. And I notice I tend to escape, go into escapism. So the exercises, I've had, a lot of struggle trying to be motivated, etc. But I was thinking this morning as I was sitting out there drinking coffee, with getting creative again inspires me. And honestly, the first time that when I started this YouTube channel, part of it was just creating videos and putting myself out there and documenting the process. And I had 0 followers, nobody cared, and you know, nobody's really watching now. There's just a handful of people, and I appreciate the heck out of everyone that participates in my journey in any way, shape, or form, even just a thumbs up, man. I appreciate it. I know we all got our own journey, but the first time, you know, I got into exercise again after a long time was I just got the camera out and I started recording myself doing push-ups. And I think then I discovered burpees, and I started doing, you know, burpees and push-ups and sit-ups and squats, and I got into freeletics, which was pretty cool. And I just kind of started exploring, you know, that world, and I started making constant videos, sticking them on YouTube. No hope for anything, and it just inspired me because I felt sort of accountable. You know, when you record it and you put it out there, you start feeling accountable. And so that's exactly what I did, is I started feeling accountable. And I was thinking this morning about, man, maybe I need to do that again, because quite frankly, I can't stand the way my body looks right now. I'm pretty hard on myself anyways, but I worked so hard to get my body to at least a place where I was sort of happy. Nowhere near where I wish I could have been, but you know, I saw progress, and I was pleased with it. And it was all because I was, you know, kept putting videos out there, putting photos on Instagram, and holding myself accountable, you know. Taking my shirt off when I didn't want to take my shirt off, and putting myself out there for judgment, you know, even though who knows who's judging, who cares, right? But, you know, it's reality. In our heads, we work it all up because we're pretty self-centered, you know, when it comes to ourselves. You know, we think everybody's thinking about us in some way, shape, or form. And the reality is very, very few people are actually thinking about us. And when they do, they're either encouraging or, you know, if they are judging, who the hell are they, and why do we care what they think, you know? But the reality is, when you hold yourself accountable, man, there's something about it that makes it, it's easier to get back out there and do it again, because you feel like you might have a handful of followers, or you might have people who don't ever say anything that are watching, that might be just starting their journey or looking for inspiration too. And when you're out there, then they're like, oh, well, if that guy can do it, maybe I can do it too. Because I try to keep it real. I mean, social media kind of presents this world of amazing people doing amazing things all the time, and so sometimes it can be sort of discouraging. So to see normal people doing normal things is sometimes better for people who, like me, who just need to see, man, there's people like me that are struggling too. You know, I'm not the only person that struggles. Not everybody's life is perfect, and I know that's how social media and the algorithm work. I mean, the reality is, most people struggle in some way. They just don't show it to you. You know, social media is a world where, you know, we just show our good side, right? Because nobody wants to show the bad side. I get it. All right, I got to get my coffee. Hold that thought.
Carol, can we help you?
Hi, just like a large iced coffee with little half and half, please.
All right, Lloyd, I'll have it as soon as.
Thank you. Carol always knows my order. That's when you know you drink too much coffee. That's funny. It's kind of nice, though. I don't know how she remembers everybody's information. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool deal at Panera. You can pay, a little monthly fee, and you can get all the drinks you want all day, every day. So we definitely use the service here at Panera. But the catch is, a lot of times, you get 2 drinks, and you get one of them for free, but you have to pay for the other one, or, you go get a bite to eat because you got a free drink there. So I know it's a gimmick, but it works apparently. But I do drink a lot of their free drinks every day. I'm not gonna lie, I get my money's worth out of it. Sponsored by Panera. I wish. That'd be cool to have sponsors. Can you imagine? Actually, some of you probably can, because you probably already got sponsors. Sucker. Come on, Carol, hurry up. I'm just kidding. She's a nice old lady. It is a perfect day out today. It's so beautiful out.
Sorry, I had to go get some fresh cream. The other had expired. So.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. All right, we are back on the road, guys. Gotta put my sunglasses on because I'm heading into the sun. Today is Thursday. I'm looking forward to the weekend, as I always do. The weekend's always nice. Always goes by quick, but so do the weeks, man. The older you get, the quicker time goes in general. They say that, but man, it is true. It is super true. It's all right. Sometimes you want time to go fast. You're like, oh man, let's just get through this week already. So yeah, at any rate, what I like about doing these videos, regardless of, the masterpiece that they are, it's a vlog, man. It's like, this is what I think vlogs originally were intended for. People, a daily blog, sharing your life, sharing your day, sharing your experience in this world. And, obviously people always take it to the next level. So all of a sudden these vlogs became these masterpiece cinema, which I'm still not exactly sure how people do, even though I do photo and video for a living. But man, these people are good. And they spend a lot of time on it. And I can tell you honestly, unfortunately, that is one thing that I have a hard time with is, I'm not super patient. I'd like to be much more patient, but I don't spend a lot of time on projects. If I can do it really well and I can do it fast, I love to do it. If it takes a really long time, I usually, with my ADD brain, I get bored with it, or the challenge isn't, if it's a bunch of little details, and I just move on to something else, and I don't like that, don't get me wrong. I'd much rather, finish all the projects and be diligent like that, and I'd like to, spit out super amazing pieces over and over, rather than, quickly spitting out half-baked ideas. And that's okay too, though. In my mind, I'd rather spit out half-baked ideas than sit on things that are unfinished for years or never finish them at all. And I've been guilty of that too. And so I'm working on, just finishing projects regardless of, whether I feel it's done or it's a masterpiece or it's perfect. Sometimes less is more. And it's funny, I'm also starting to think it's not popular. People have super short attention spans and they want perfection. A lot of people want perfection all the time with the things that they look at, the things they consume. And part of me wants to rebel against all of that and say, man, in this world of technology, when everything is at your fingertips and you can have everything you want, I feel like sometimes raw, natural, real is better. I like technology too. I like all of it, and I like finished projects and products, but I also think there's some super value in just honest, real stuff too. And I think, well, I was going to say that's why people love reality shows, because people want to get involved and consume real stuff sometimes. And I was going to say that, but then I was thinking, yeah, but the reality is, reality shows are often pretty darn scripted, regardless if it's actual physical, they know what's going to happen, or it's just really good editing, So it's supposed to feel like reality, and it's supposed to feel effortless, but they put a lot of work into it. And, that's the truth of it. We feel like, you watch TV and you're like, oh no, this is all real. It's like, to an extent, it's real. It's still just entertainment, and it's crafted to give you, particular feelings and cliffhangers and keep you coming back, etc. When in reality, sometimes reality is boring. Sometimes non-scripted reality is, it's not that interesting. But like the videos I'm creating right now aren't necessarily spectacular, right? Whether anybody hears them or not, it doesn't matter. I think learning how to speak to a camera, learning how to process your thoughts and speak on the fly without editing, without really censoring yourself because you feel like, you're trying to pander to an audience. That's a skill, man, and that takes practice. And so that's literally what this is my practice, and I enjoy it, and maybe eventually I can turn it into something. Who knows? Now on the thought, now that leads me to another thought, and this is what reality is. One thought ping pongs to another thought, and so subjects kind of change. But as far as creativity and making videos, it's interesting how I've been doing photography for 30 years, mostly professionally, and it's amazing how much you don't know, or how much I don't know. Maybe other people know, but I'm constantly learning, and I hope to always be learning. I feel like when somebody feels like they've arrived, then they're probably not that good, or they're I don't know. I don't trust somebody who thinks they know it all. I really don't, because when you think you know it all, you're not learning anymore. You're not taking in anything. And I think creativity, just like everything else, is a constant process. You have to keep evolving. And I think that's life, man. Life is a constant evolution. Like I saw a meme the other day. If you still think the same way at 50 that you did at 20, then you just wasted 30 years. And I'm like, man, Boy, that's the truth. Because the whole idea is to learn and grow and become a stronger, better person for it. You know, your experiences change you. They do. You become someone else. Through practice, through discipline, through pushing yourself, through saying, I don't know, and saying, I'm open to change. That allows new things to come in, new ideas, new experiments. And that's what I love about creativity. I'm constantly learning and growing, and there's so much that I don't know. And it's amazing how you can do something for so long, but yet really just be scratching the surface. You know, I look at videos on YouTube and I'm like, man, how do they do it? Like, exactly how do they do it? You know, I have the basics down with a lot of things, but to actually make these things that some of these people make it's incredible. I'm really in awe of how good some of these people are. And like I've said before, I'm not patient enough sometimes to stick with things, and I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, you know, like they say. You know, I love to do all kinds of creative things, and I've been doing creative things my whole life, but mastering things that's a whole different skill set, you know. Staying with something long enough that you get, you know, super good at it, that's a whole thing by itself. And I'm impressed when people can do that. But I do know that this is one of the steps to do that. Experimenting, trying, creating over and over and over. Like, if you watch videos on YouTube on how to get better, how to grow your channel, etc., every one of them will say, step one, you got to create. You got to make stuff. You got to make so much stuff. And you got to keep doing that until, well, you just don't stop. You just don't stop. Look at anybody that's successful on YouTube, for instance. I would imagine almost all of them, if not all of them, have created thousands of videos. Minimum hundreds, but some of them thousands. And you know, you hear it with bands, you know, overnight success. Like, they made an album and they were an overnight success. And every one of them says, yeah, that overnight success took 20 years. You know, living on the road or daily, you know. It's just a constant. It's just a constant, man. People are crazy. Homeless people on the side of the street. Crazy people. But yeah, life is crazy, man. Jeez. Homeless people over there fighting. So typical. So typical. That threw me off. Unfortunately, driving from my house to downtown, you go through a lot of sketchy areas, and there's a lot of homeless people, a lot of crazy people. You know, some of these poor areas are sketchy at best, man. I hate to see it. I hate to see it. We were watching Cobra Kai last night, and Daniel-san goes to Japan to talk to the people that might change his dealership. They might help the competition buy out his dealership. Anyway, he goes to Japan, and I was just taking note on how beautiful Japan was and how clean it was. The people are so different. In the US, man, we struggle here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the US. I love America. And we've got a lot of good people. But we've also got a lot of self-absorbed, narcissistic, me mentality You know, there's a lot going on like that. You know, a lot of arrogance, a lot of, you know, mine. Capitalism is tricky, man. I like capitalism because it allows you to, you know, go as far as you want and do what you want, and that's why people from all over the world come here. I mean, that's amazing to me. But it also creates a mentality of more. I gotta have it. What's in it for me? You know, numbers. It's a little bit sad. It's a little bit sad. Instead of, you know, thinking about your brother or sister, it's more like, what's in it for me? How does this affect me? Anyway, I digress. Those aren't typically the subjects I get into because I can't do much about it. Some people say, oh, you can do all kinds of things about it. It's like, well, maybe for you. Maybe you can do things about it, but that's not really where I go because it's too much frustration right there, too much hate, too much anger, and I stay away from it, man. I do. But I try to stick with the creative and the, you know, the intellectual side of things, and in a way, I leave all that other stuff to other people. At any rate, I'm downtown. It's a beautiful day, and I'm almost to work. I've rambled for sure. One thing that I've tried to figure out exactly, and I can't figure out, you know, people get on a script or something and they make these cohesive videos that are amazing, you know, because it's scripted and they know exactly how they're going to say it. And I have not figured that one out yet. And maybe I'm just doing the wrong kind of blog for that format. But that's something I'd like to explore, how to make a more coherent video, more cohesive video, that you know, I get a theme and I stay with that theme for the whole video. But so far I haven't got that. I just kind of jump all over the place, obviously, and my thoughts ping pong. But at any rate, I think that's about all I got for today. It's another wonderful day. At lunch, I'm going to go out and do something creative. I don't know what yet, but we'll see. Anybody who's watching this, I hope that you have a spectacular day. I hope that something happens in your life that is just amazing. And I hope that you find whatever the heck you're looking for in life, man. I wish you nothing but the best in your life. All right, guys. Well, if you did watch it, let me know. I appreciate it. It's nice to know if somebody watches it, but if not, that's cool too. All right. We'll see you later.